You always hear tips for how men should embrace their feminine side and not be ashamed. But what are some masculine things women should embrace more? My aunt gave me a really cool piece of advice when I was younger that this post reminds me of. Backstory: I used to always ask her sons, my cousins, for help opening stuff, fixing things, etc., around the house. She seemed bothered by this in a way and said to me, "Before you ask a man for help, try one more time." So now I always try a difficult task one more time before asking for help, and it's crazy how many of these times I've done whatever it is by myself. It sounds small, but it's definitely empowering in a way. Yard work, car maintenance, and other supposedly manly jobs around the house. My parents cringed when they found out I, a barely 5-foot woman, was catching and disposing off all the spiders and bugs in the house because my 6'3" giant hairy bear of a partner is terrified of them. He also does most of the cooking. And I take care of the heavy cat litter because poop grosses him out. And he for years was too scared to admit it because he thought I and our family would see him as less of a man. I like to fix stuff, work on the house, mow the lawn, etc. And people always ask, shouldn't your husband be doing that? No, I'm a fully capable adult and he's doing something else just as important. People that don't let their daughters use tools and learn DIY skills are doing them a disservice in so many ways. It's a perfect avenue to develop career interests in engineering and the trades. Also, a basic understanding of projects and components is one of the keys to not getting screwed over by mechanics and contractors. I spoke to someone who runs a waste collection company and he mentioned that he never gets female applicants for truck drivers. It's not even a really masculine job, that's physically intensive. But for some reason it's considered a masculine job, and that doesn't make sense. To be honest, I've never seen why knowing how to do things like change a tire when you've had a blowout should be considered masculine. It sure beats having to wait for the tow truck when you've got places to be. Not putting up with being pushed around is a good start. Many women, including myself, were brought up to be pleasant and unconfrontational. Sometimes it's necessary to tell someone back TF off. DIY, the satisfaction of making something, wrangling materials and hardware and tools and getting something done at the end of it. That's a priceless feeling. Many women have learned helplessness when it comes to tools and making larger things. They're missing out. I feel like I meet so many women who assume they aren't physically strong enough to do or lift something, so they don't even try. My mother is an nurse and a gardener, so from a young age I've seen and known she can lift very heavy things, and I grew up knowing I can do that too. So yes, I can lift very heavy things. Because I know I can. If I approach something feeling very badly, like I want to move or lift it, I almost always will get it done. But I can't tell you how many women I meet who assume I work out when I lift something heavy. And I really don't work out. I think many women do not know how to test their strength and assume if it's hard they should stop. Or they just don't even try. I don't know what else explains it. Just try harder and lift it. You probably can. My mother loves pointing out how women should always sit with their legs together. It is a different thing if I'm wearing a skirt or a dress. But if I'm wearing pajamas and at home, I can sit however it damn well pleases me. I wish less women listen to stuff like this. Being straightforward with what they want. Even if some people say it comes off bitchy, or bossy, or whatever. Those are not the kind of people you should be catering to. My husband and I were online for a ride at an amusement park once. The ticket taker had his back to another employee who was trying to get his attention. Without success. So I said, "Hey man, I think that guy needs you." A few minutes later, with the issue resolved, the ticket taker took my ticket, let me through, and then while taking my husband's ticket he kept him there a second to say, "Your wife is crazy bossy." A, what a rude, sexist thing to say, and B, how'd he guess that my husband wasn't the kind to start a fight defending my honor? I think more women should be open to weightlifting. Whenever I'm at the gym with a female friend, she won't even go near a barbell because she thinks it will make her too masculine. But often when she does eventually try it, she'll like it. IDK, why some women think it will ruin their look, but why pay for a membership if all you do is run and stretches? Working out. It can only improve your existence. They're always worried about looking too muscular, but it's very hard to gain noticeable muscle and takes some real conscious effort. I've heard women say that don't work out because they don't want to add muscle. I don't think people understand that it's hard to add muscle and you're not going to accidentally add huge muscle mass. This is long and kind of off topic, but I have a lot of thoughts on this. Learning how to work on cars and fix things around the house. I grew up in a very misogynistic household. I am the oldest of 4. 2 boys, 2 girls. I loved to play sports and get dirty. My father would give us all time to play together, but when it would come time to set the table for dinner, me and my sister would have to go in and help our mother. We would also have to clean up after. My brothers would get to stay outside and play or watch our dad work on the car. I loved learning how things worked, but was told I would just get in the way. I was very much a tomboy and my dad always seemed disappointed in that. My mother ended up leaving my father, he was abusive, and I kind of had an identity crisis. Cut all my hair off at 14. Literally close to a buzz cut. My mother started thinking for herself and had to learn how to do shit she previously wasn't allowed to do. I'm 23 now and am just now learning all the things I thought I'd never be good at because I'm a woman. The sad thing is that I still get looked down on when I ask questions about more masculine things. If I say something wrong or make a mistake, I get the "you silly woman" look from men. I think women getting to learn these things at young ages would help normalize the lack of need for certain gender roles. TLDR, my dad is a dick, and teaching girls at young ages to do masculine things would seriously improve our society. Shoulders. Now hear me out on this one. A lot of women are self-conscious as hell about having broad shoulders as it's a stereotypical male trait. Clothes aren't designed for them. They think they look manly and don't fit in. Aren't real women. etc. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having broad shoulders as a woman. If anything, it makes you look bigger, stronger, more intimidating and confident. Embrace that build that nature gave ya. Working on learning to drive a tractor. It is difficult because the thing terrifies me. It is huge, has all these levers that I don't know what they do. But I have working on it. My girls will be pros though. Getting involved with a sport or video game they like. So many women don't allow themselves to just fucking have fun because they don't know that they're allowed to. Makes me so sad. Standing their ground. Not always having to be polite, but rather be demanding when that is needed. I think a lot of typical female occupations would have higher pay if women didn't feel bad about speaking up. This is obviously an issue with a lot more to it. And women definitely shouldn't be blamed for it. But I guess my point is that stern girls should be more applauded where it's due. There's definitely pressure on certain professions for them to be into it for the work and not the pay. Like nursing. People are just aghast when nurses want more money for how shitty their working conditions are, but look at the world now. Where would we be without nurses? People try and say they are paid well enough already, but would you go into an infectious room with a PPE you've worn for 3 days on the pay they get now? Also, that's just horseshit. You can care about your work and still get compensated fairly for it. Muscles. I've been overweight my whole life. And what I want more than losing weight is to be strong. To have strong shoulders and biceps. I want to be the one called in to carry the heavy furniture out to the moving van. I want to scale the side of a building. I want to rock climb. I just want to feel strong and capable. Man, should I join a gym when this quarantine is over? Having a deep voice. My voice is quite deep, and a number of people had made fun of my unfeminine voice and made me feel really insecure. I don't think all women have to speak in high, sweet voices. I feel like women shouldn't be afraid of doing manly stuff because they think they'll be seen as a tomboy or a lesbian. Those are harmful stereotypes. One thing I've noticed is that our fathers never really bother us how to fix our car or building stuff. For example, and women don't want to learn that since it's a man's job. Just like how us women say that men should learn to cook and clean since it's a life skill. So is repairing stuff, too. Buff arms. I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a lot and do workouts pretty often, and people point out a lot that I have nice muscles. Women always worry about being bulky when doing sports. But I like to embrace it. Plus, people aren't as judgmental about it as you'd think. I've gotten so many compliments on my arms. Not apologizing for being assertive. I manage a restaurant and I always have to fight trying to soften every request that I make of my staff. I am their boss, and although I'm not going to be a dick about it, their jobs have expectations that I'm responsible for making sure are met. I say, sorry, more than any man in my position would have to, and often have to say things time and time again before it is heard. Lifting weights. Many women are scared to even touch a weight, because they don't want to look like a jacked bodybuilder. That will never happen unless you spend many years at it. Eat and sleep like crazy. And take steroids. Girls. There are so many key aesthetic regions you can enhance and make incredibly sexy through some heavy weight lifting. Toned and defined back, butt, legs, and core are so easy this way. And it just looks amazing. Financial management. I used to work in a call center, and it was really tough when older ladies would call in to pay bills for the first time. They'd explain how their husbands managed the finances their whole lives, and now they were uncertain about so many aspects of contract monetary obligations. A lot of people say that I'm too cute to be in jiu-jitsu. Seriously, they think that I'm too sensitive and pretty to be in a physically active sport like that. But I like doing it because it's fun and it's self-defense. Apparently I'm too cute to defend myself against a bully, robber, or rapist. Too many women, at least young women these days, have built a personality around making people proud of them. They are stressed about being perfect at everything, often to the point that it makes them difficult to be genuine friends with because they can't take joy in other people's accomplishments. Even those of people they really like. They love having a broad social circle because it reflects well on them as an accomplishment. But it's hard to assess how strong these friendships truly are. School, of course, just reinforces this as they work hard to get praise and good grades in return. However, when they get into the work world and they aren't the paying customers anymore, it can be a real shock when bosses don't praise them every time they do a good job, i.e., what they are being paid to do. But bosses do mention it every time they make a mistake, so they can fix it and or not do it again. Bosses aren't all default potential mentors the way teachers and professors are. Outwardly, they may even seem perfect, great looks, great grades, awards, good job, lots of friends, any or all of these. However, inside, they have almost no structure to who they really are. This makes them very sensitive, easy to put off balance, and sources of drama. I rarely see this in straight men. They often have a real core of confidence in their abilities, sometimes too much. Even guys that consider themselves insecure bags of slop still have this real core of knowing who they are outside of other people's approval. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. See you next time.